My name is Sarah McKee, MC capital K-E-E. I live in Amherst, Massachusetts. I am a retired federal attorney who did not intend to speak this morning to you, but the materials were so persuasive that you wanted to hear from non-techies how the internet affects their lives and why net neutrality is important, that I thought I had better speak. I am one of the original Gentle Muses at Massachusetts General Hospital. The Muses are a joint venture of the Harp Department at the Boston Conservatory and the Mass General Hospital Cancer Center. For the last 5 years, our numbers have varied according to people's schedules. We have played for cancer patients receiving chemotherapy in the pediatric cancer wards. We've also played in the neonatal and pediatric intensive care units. In order to organize us, since we live scattered over quite a distance, we absolutely need the internet. If it were not for the internet, we would not be able to operate. We are volunteers. Our budget is close to nil, if anything. And if we had to pay for good service on the internet, we simply would not be able to serve the patients whom we serve. This is a modest application of the net, and for those who have heard us play and said that it helped at very difficult times, it is a precious service. So I ask you, please keep the net neutral.
My name is Dean Jansen. I'm from Cambridge, Mass. Right now, and I work for a small nonprofit called the Participatory Culture Foundation. We create a free and open source internet TV application that is directly affected by what's going on here at the FCC hearing on the Harvard Law campus today. The way that Comcast is filtering BitTorrent actually directly affects our application, and it affects the user's ability to download shows from independent creators. It's really harmful for anyone who's trying to broadcast on their own without going through an official channel of, say, Comcast or their internet provider. This is a system that ideally, when the internet's functioning as it should, it's an application that lets a viewer directly connect with the creator of the video and watch very, very high quality video. And what Comcast is doing is essentially ruining our system. So it's very important for a lot of creators who are using the system, a lot of viewers who are using the system, and the internet at large, that that network neutrality remain intact.
My name is Yo-Yo Zo, spelled Y-O-Y-O-Z-H-O-U. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm currently a student of computer science at MIT. My area of research is mostly in computer networks. So this topic is of much interest to me, and I see it as mostly a political issue. If the FCC makes the wrong decision today, what's going to happen to academic freedom? What will happen to MIT when my lab starts publishing papers detailing what exactly the negative effects are going to be on the internet at large due to the anti-competitive practices that these ISPs are going to start enacting? Major hindrance to this free flow of information that keeps science going if the political decisions about who can communicate with whom are being concentrated in the hands of a small number of people in charge of these ISPs.
On behalf of the 3,600 members of the Maine Civil Liberties Union, we urge you to restore network neutrality to the internet. Network neutrality means a free and open internet and the freedom to choose what content you read and what applications you use. Net neutrality embodies the First Amendment on the internet. It is our long history of net neutrality that has created today's internet, a truly public marketplace of ideas where startup entrepreneurs can compete with big businesses and minority political and social views can compete with majority views on the basis of the character of their content, not their ability to pay nor the discretion of corporations. Mainers, not large corporate ISPs, should determine what websites we visit, what services we utilize, and what content we distribute. We are particularly disturbed by the consequences for freedom of speech. Given the limited choices that consumers have for internet service providers in a rural state like Maine, the ability of a company to block users from accessing certain content will mean absolute censorship. We are very disturbed to hear that Verizon Communications attempted to block NARAL Pro-Choice America from signing up for a program available to all other advocacy and corporate groups that would allow them to communicate via text message with their members. We fear that this is only a first step in the beginning of a trend whereby corporations censor for political reasons what their users can access. The group of stakeholders defending net neutrality at the federal level is extraordinarily long, ranging from the Christian Coalition of America to MoveOn.org to Google to SEIU to the American Library Association to Gun Owners of America. The list of bloggers and nonprofit organizations in support of net neutrality is similarly staggering in length. Those of us who stand before you today represent a much larger cross-section of Maine businesses, advocacy organizations, and consumers. This issue is too important to Mainers to dismiss without careful consideration. We urge the FCC to reconsider its decision to exempt internet service providers from the principle of non-discrimination. We believe that can be achieved in a manner that satisfies both constitutional and technological concerns to ensure that the internet remains a truly free marketplace of ideas.
Hi, my name is Dan Jeffs, and I'm a big-time internet user in Boston. I'd like to say a few words about net neutrality to the FCC commissioners. On behalf of the public, I'd like to say that whoever determines the speed in which a web page loads is going to determine how fast that website will catch on, what kind of popularity it will get, and eventually what kind of impact it will have on society. And big websites like Google, Amazon wouldn't have gotten their start if the internet hadn't been free and open. And I'm strongly advocating that you do not allow any kind of roadblocks to be put in place legislatively or through the private market. And that way our children's children will have open access to information as television and radio slowly become less dominant forms of media and the internet becomes the primary source of information for everyone to read. Thanks.